Good evening. Welcome to art class number 3. And it's great to have everybody back again and join me for the 3rd week of lockdown. All the new subscribers, all the new people who've been with us for the last couple of weeks, and also people who were with us at the start of lockdown. So it's great to virtually see everybody. Hopefully you can see me well. We try to upgrade the technology week on week, so hopefully the pictures will be a lot better and a lot clearer. And then you can follow along with my drawing class tonight. Now we're trying to make it as accessible as possible, so I won't go too quickly. I'll keep it as simple as possible for everybody, and we're trying to do simple objects that can be as complicated as you want to make them as the class progresses. So do the minimum, do what you can do, make some marks on the paper, and let's see where we can take this class week on week. We're now at 500 subscribers, which is pretty monumental, to be honest, considering we have only been going for 3 weeks, which is time to celebrate. So I'd like to thank Jess for helping with the support of that, and her family tonight. We're having a bit of a draw-off. So a big cheer from Jess's house, which I can hear from here. Big shout out to Pete, who's obviously going to attempt to draw tonight. And a big shout out to Michelle, who's the technology whiz kid, along with Pete, who's managed to get all this off the ground. I just stick to the colouring in. That's the main bit. So for a starting point, everybody who's on the class tonight, we've got a little special thing going on. We thought it'd be good to reward everybody who wants to take part and who has subscribed and taken the trouble. If you go on my website at any time after the class, we've got a discount code for anyone who wants to buy anything. You can get 10% off by using the code, which I have written down, ARTClass10. ARTClass10. And if you use that discount code in my shop, you will get 10% off. And happy days. And you can buy some of these cool things behind me as well. So this is on my website. This cool, bring it over to the front. This is Liam Gallagher with the backdrop. Yeah. And we've got my Marilyn over here. Sorry, I'm squeezing now. Marilyn Monroe over this side. So if you want to buy anything on the shop, have a little nosy around. Art Class 10. And get on with it. Right. Cool. Good stuff. We're ready to go. Ready to roll. Let's go for it. So tonight we are going to be drawing some lips for starters. So just as a bit of a shading exercise, we're going to try and bring this together. So a very, very simple set of lips. If you look at that drawing, I will try and leave it on screen at all times. We will do that. So I'll try and sneak it up to the top here and see if you can sort of still see it. It might not work, but here we go. Let me just move it out of the light a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to try and attempt to bring this together. And again, I've got my set of pencils. Everybody's got the same. Hopefully, if people have got a few of these now, the different grades of pencil, we've got H, HB, B, etc. So I'm going to start with a H because that's nice and light and gives us a nice faint outline. And remember, everything we draw is made up of shapes. So let's go with a straight line. Just a faint straight line. Let's start there. So everybody can gain however long is your straight line is how long your lips are going to be. Now, obviously, the straight line, nobody has straight line lips. So then we just bring a bit of a curve into it. I mean, you can do a central line. Actually, let's do a central line. So let's do a very faint central line. And then we're just going to do a bit of a wave like this. Okay? So this, what we're trying to replicate is this nice soft curve of lips. You can do it however you want. There is no pressure on anybody to replicate this. I won't be replicating this in the time we've got, but what we will be doing is we will just draw something that is a representation, and it'll give us an idea of how to shade. So you can either measure it with what you see on the screen, so you can do the way that I was last week. So you go from the tip of the pencil, from there to the bottom of the lips there. Not easy to see. So that sort of distance, trying to do it on camera. Yes. So there to there, it's about here on mine. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a straight line. Nice and simple. And again, that will replicate the bottom. The top lip is obviously a lot smaller. So again, I'm just going to do this visually. So I'm going to say somewhere there. And then we're going to replicate this. This soft curve is going to be replicated in this section. Okay. So it's just building shapes as we've done in previous weeks. And then what we're going to do is connect this end of the lip to this. So obviously there's no straight lines. So soft curve over and then just go down, 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 very lightly. Yeah. And then the same on the other side, just a soft, like a soft set of mountains. There you go. Actually, a little view of the Lake District right there. Okay. And then underneath, you can see what you're looking at. You're looking at almost a perfect curve, especially on this set of lips. All lips are the same. Oh, not all lips are the same, I should say. Gosh. So I'm just going to do a faint curve, and then for the younger ones out there, just get the shapes that you can. Okay, and on the bottom, it is a lot more flatter on the bottom than it looks. It's not a perfect curve, but I'm just going for the ease at this point. You know, it needs to go a lot less there and a lot less. And the whole thing about art, just make marks on paper. That's it. Make the marks on the paper. If you get the paper out, it's like going to the gym. You know, the hardest part is getting in the gym. So get the paper, give yourself an hour every week and have a go at doing this. Right, I'm going on to a heavier pencil now to define the lip edge. So we're going to go, I've got really soft pencils here. You might have heard it crack then. And again, last week, the feedback was amazing. Thank you very much to everybody who fed back, sharing pictures across social media. It was absolutely brilliant. It probably annoyed a lot of people because we actually took over social media. But if you can keep sharing, when you've done the class tonight, please share. Get it on Instagram. You can hashtag, you can tag me in, whatever. Let's just get a community growing on Instagram and Facebook, and let's share and show everybody what we're creating. And then we can all feed back and say how great they are. And we get some more subscribers and we'll build on it. So these are a bit wonky, but that's what it's about. It's basically just carving the lips out. So you follow what you can see on the screen here, and you can draw these how you like. I'm just going to guide you through how I would do. So to the left of here, so that if we call that the center line, it's a lot more shaded. And I am just going to shade where the shade is on this one. So this is just your dark and light areas. There's no detail whatsoever. And I'm doing this week, I'm deciding to do lines. You can shade how you like. You can do little circles, lots of people. That could work quite nicely for lips. Just do very, very small. Hold the pencil on the side almost. And just go round and round. And the softer you go, so you lift off, basically. You go heavy, circle to light. And then you can do it, or you could go and do the crosshatch. Lots of people do that. Depends what you want to do. You decide what you enjoy doing, and what's the easiest to get the desired effect. So obviously it's very dark this side. I will be building this up with a different layer of pencil in a minute. But at the minute, I am just picking out just areas that I can see, just to give us a starting point. And this bottom lip, it sort of shades like this. Yeah. This is how we go about it. I mean, it takes a very long time to get things perfect. I could spend, I mean, these set of lips here, they would probably took a few hours to do that, to create that. We're going to do it in sort of 20 minutes. So obviously you're not going to get a perfect effect, but you get an idea of how I would go about it. And then it's up to you if you want to sort of try to do that. Now, obviously lips are not that. Lips are more this. So lips are curved, obviously. So what we want to do is when we are adding contours, we are curving them and lifting off the page like that. So down and off. So just pull a few of these lines in for starters, just to give it a little bit of shape. Yeah. Okay, and then the bottom the same. So your bottom lip curves, curves, curves. And we're just putting very, very faint lines in. And yes, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. The main thing of the class is to get everybody drawing and have an hour with your family, away from thoughts of everything that's going on in the world right now, and just enjoy exploring, even competing against each other to see who's the best drawer. So we will be delving, and I will be raising that later. So I'm going for a heavier pencil now as I start to build up. You start to see things start happening a bit quicker now. Loads of shading all around the mouth, which we've never looked at. But I'm just personally, at the minute, I'm just concentrating on the top lip. We're going to bring a bit of detail in. And you've got artistic license. You can take this. You can put as much detail as you want. You can sketch it. You can get somewhere like it. You can listen to me. You can mute me if you want. I recorded a podcast this week, which is the first time I've ever done anything like that. So I will be pointing that in everybody's direction next week. If anybody wants to have a listen about where my career came from, how I came to be, how I got to this stage of being an artist, etc. Some of the projects I've worked on, some funny stories, some emotional stories. And it's 45 minutes. Comes out next Thursday. I think it comes out on the 4th. And hopefully people will enjoy it. It's certainly a different experience to do. Never done anything like that before, but we'll see how it sounds like. So as you can see now, I am now starting to layer sections. So I'm adding more pencil to it. You know, you can do the finger smudging just to get a quick look at it. And then the odd bit here, I'm going to make a bit more defined. Okay. And then all this here is definitely a soft pencil for me. Where's my soft one? Yeah. So I'm going to start to speed it up a little now and start to build this darkness up. And obviously this is quicker than I would normally go, so bear with me. I just want to get the point across that how we build very sort of complex shapes that you just sort of take for granted, the shape of lips and stuff, but how it can come about with just nice thought and getting the pencil right, choosing the right pencil, choosing the shading. Hopefully everybody's getting something. See, I'm starting to build it in that way. But remember at the end as well, what we can do, which we have done the last few weeks, which is quite good, is you can shade it and shade it and shade it, but then you can take stuff away. So as you take stuff away and use the rubber to get the highlights out, you'll get a different effect. So it's not like, oh my God, I've made a pencil line, it's too heavy, I can't get rid of it. It's just start to form, you know, this sort of look. So follow a few of these around. Yeah, and I'm going to swap again. And what the idea is that the original pencil lines that we've penciled in, you should be able to see them. Because unless we're going to be doing women's lips that are really defined and made up, which I guess these are. Okay, and then I'm going to try and feather some of this in, so there's don't want any lines other than the obvious breakage of it. Okay, and then we're going to define this bit a bit like it is in there. Okay. Like I said, when you've all done tonight, try and get on Instagram or Facebook, share your pictures. Let's try and keep that momentum going. Thanks to Jess, who's really powered it forward this week and helped get us. I mean, we've had coverage for this class. We've had it on the Manc. We've had it on. We've got hundreds of thousands of followers on there. We've had it on I Love Manchester. We've had it on Visit Manchester, About Manchester, and all these other channels. So we are getting a bit of a name for ourselves, which is cool. So if you are on board, hopefully the one that's making a bit of a phenomenon. Don't even know how to say it. So. But if you can see now, you can start to see that bit by bit, we are getting something that's starting to look like something. Obviously, this needs to be softened up, and I want to soften up all this. Yeah, I've got some circular bits here, and then we've got these bit more pronounced shaded sections, which if you leave a little bit of a line between, a little bit of light between, again, artistic license. Don't have to draw exactly what's there. But the key thing is that you keep looking at what you're drawing. If you are copying something, keep looking at what it is you're copying from. Don't just make it up. Don't just do that thing that I guess is a younger starting out thing of just you have to draw what you see and not what you think you see. Okay, and I'm just going to add a bit of shading and texture to this as well. And then obviously this under here, just try and take a bit of definition out. Don't want any straight lines, like I say. Eventually, just soften it up a little. Okay. Now, I don't know what yours are all looking like. Not looking too bad here. So sometimes if you sharpen your pencil as well, this is another. If you find somewhere like a scrap piece of paper and really soften it up, you can then get, look now, I can create this really quickly now because that pencil is really soft and really grainy. I should be able to just start and this is the benefit of having a few pencils. It's not very easy to do this just with a HB. So anybody who wants to advance in the next few weeks, we're hoping, the idea is that we continue doing the classes. I'm going to rub out all this under here we don't need. I'm going to I want to use that bottom line still. So I just want to fade it all the way. So I think what we want is everybody to sort of do it, get involved. Let's build the community up. And then after a certain amount of time, if people want to pursue it and do lots more classes, I'll have to just come up with another way of trying to get everybody here each week, I suppose. So if anybody is interested in stuff like that and learning more and doing more advanced, taking more time over drawings, please give me a shout and we will work that into some sort of idea of how we could do that. All right, and now underneath, we've left this little gap. Softened it up. Yeah, softened it up. And I'm going to speed up a little just to get an overall effect as if we had done it with lots of time. Like I said, this is now just making lots of very quick marks. But it's just building it up in a very soft way, because we can then, now we've got this bit here, so we'll be able to tell what it's called. I think it's some sort of technical name. This bit, and if you look, it's literally just a little indent in this section. And we can take our shading like in the picture and just mold around it. Okay, I'm speeding up now, I apologize. But this is where you can sort of, I can make really big improvements with just some crazy shading now. It's starting to come to life. It's not easy, but it's things like this that really improve you as an artist, is drawing things like this that are not easy, but they look simple. But you realize now that you start off, you're doing all this. All I'm doing here is just adding a bit of charcoal to it. So adding real soft charcoal here, which I can then get rid of. But it just gives the impression that this side of the face exists as well. Okay. Obviously, we don't want too many really dark ones. This side I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with what it's finished like. It's not too bad. It looks something similar, but I'd like a lot more time to define it. Okay. So that is basically, that's what we're trying to achieve. You can stick that to one side. You can work more on it later. You can go back and watch the class again. I'm just going to quickly chuck that in there, and then I'm just going to add a couple of highlights that at the putty. Then we'll give a little difference to it there, and maybe a little one over it, which I'm just going to make up. But you see what I mean? From where we were to where we are, we've created a very simple set of lips. And it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be accurate. If I take that away now, we are happy with drawn a set of lips, and that's the critical part. We've created a simple shape, put some pencil lines, we've done some shading, and we've ended up with this. So what we're going to do next, this is the sort of main part of the classes. We're going to do define a new drawing. So I'll put that to one side. I'll just have a little zip of my. We are going to draw. We're going to do this. So no pressure. What the main thing that I want to be able to do, apologize for this, I've got a puppy that's scratching the hell out of me, is we are going to just work out how to put the shape together. I'll add a bit of shading if we've got time. But the main thing is how do we process this as a drawing? We look at it now and go, that's not possible. But what I want to try and do is we'll try and create the shape. So I've done a little bit of homework today, which I'll be very pleased with, and just give you a bit of an idea of, let me just move it over to here a bit. Good horse, move out of the way. Sorry, it's a bit shiny over there. Just move it there for a sec. This, now if you look at it like that, it's basically lots of squares and triangles. So in theory, if I took that horse picture away, this is how you need to look at drawings. This is how you look at drawings from start to finish. What shape is its head? You know, very, very blah, 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 blah. What shape is its head? It's obviously got an ear. It's got a neck, comes down here. We know that goes across there. We know it's got its bridle, and there's its mouth. And everything will connect if we just work it out and take our time. And you will end up with a shape. So if that, as long as that's a pencil sketchy shape, that's when you start building your drawing in. That's when you start adding in the soft curves of the neck. That's when you put the eye in the right position. This is how we need to try and get, that's what we're going to try and get to tonight. So I will move. Now the horse will be, where should I put it? The horse will be on screen there. Let me just work out where the edge of the paper is. No, it is my edge of the paper, so that's okay. Right, so the horse will be on screen at all times. If you want to go away and draw it and just get on with it, you do that. I'll show you how I will go about doing it, and we'll just see if we can get there. And if we don't, you can all laugh. Okay, so I think how I'm going to start with this horse is by trying to get that line there. So in theory, just have something alongside. You know, you can reference across. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. That is the main part of this class. All I want from this class is people to come along, have an hour and enjoy it, have a bit of a laugh and see if you can learn something. If you want, get the picture alongside. Is that the right angle? Have I got the right angle? It's not a mile away. Okay. Now, let's just define where its nose is. So this is that building up of shapes. Now the next thing, what I would suggest probably is this angle here. That's where I would go, I think. So this angle, forget its mouth, is somewhere in this region. And if it's wrong, you'll be able to find out later if it's wrong further down the drawing. Okay. And this is now defining where everything is. So I think we should start with, let's try and work out this sort of end of the horse, and it's, I think that's called its bridle, is it? I don't know, possibly. So let's give that a go, because obviously it's in theory. If you did that and that, hopefully they're in the same angle. Yeah. It doesn't look like a horse yet, said the crowd. And the next bit, let's have a little think of where we're going to go next. Might work my way up. No, let's go with that line there, because that is pretty much in line with that. So as with previous weeks, we're trying to work out the lines that we actually know and we can see. So let's give that one a go and see if that's somewhere like, and that brings it to that point there, which is there. Okay, very, very simple set of lines. Now, I'm going to try and just get this shape in, and then it'll give us an idea of what's right and what's wrong. And I'm just going to fade some of this out a little. Okay, so this is where you need to be seeing what I can see. So seeing this curve here, a little bit of a thing there. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go here. And again, just do what you think it looks like. In, out, and then into its mouth. Right, and now its mouth goes up there, but it's almost in line with that as well. So there's another way to use that line there as an idea. Yeah, and its mouth's going in that direction, and it goes towards this. So again, that's another good reference point. This is how you get your drawings accurate, is by using reference points within your drawing. Don't just go away and go, I think it looks like this. Do you know what I mean? And just, if you want to get it accurate, then this is probably the best way. Obviously, his lips are curved like that. He's got a little bobbly bit there that sticks out lower, and then it goes in there, somewhere there. And let's just go with that for starters. We'll find out again, like I say, if it looks wrong, you just go back and change it later on in the drawing process. And I'm going to put a little sketchy square in there, because that's that bit. And we'll do his bridle. I'm calling it a bridle. If somebody out there does horses and knows more about horses than I do, wants to call it something else. Okay. And then underneath this bit, I'm just going to continue it down just for argument's sake at this point. Yeah. So it's not a bad start. We've got a bit of the nose with very little reference. Now this goes up, 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 there. Now the critical part now is where is its eye? So this is the hard part of the drawing, I would suggest. So we'll start with doing a straight line right down from the center of his eye. And where does that end up? That ends just below where we've drawn that there. Is that right? So see, I can see mistakes already. And that's why I would do it. So that goes up there. That's even more pronounced, so it's even bigger than that. But that's all part of the process. So I'm going to go with that and hope that's a bit closer. So if we go straight down from the center of its eye, straight down, it comes through this part of that. So it needs to be somewhere there. And then it goes across that one there, and then comes down, straight line to somewhere here. So in theory, if you did a very faint line up, that should be where its eye goes. So we'll put its eye in that position there, and let's give it a bit of an eye and just hope that that was okay. So we'll give it a bit of an eye at this point. Yeah. Not dissimilar to the human eye there. And again, this is a reference eye. It's not the perfect. This is not the actual done finished eye. But it will give you an idea of what's right and what's wrong. If you want, again, drag the picture along. If you're going for something that's pretty much the same. I don't think we're miles away with the side where the eye is. Whether it's too big or not is another thing. But one thing we can do from here is we can start building around the eye, because obviously it's got this big, it's got that there, which is its eye there. It's got this bit here. Okay. But then it's got this bigger bit over the top, which also almost all forms into one. Yeah. And then this bit I can get rid of a little. Oops, sorry. Because we know now that that obviously follows on. And that's starting to take shape now. And this curve follows, and then goes back out again. So we're going to go there and then up. And that's pretty much a vertical line. So we're just going to go up, up, up and leave it. Okay. So that's the first part of the horse. So now the eye is a reference point. We can now go this way. Okay, and this way. Let's see if we can make that bit up. And then where's that? That goes in line with maybe the corner of the eye. So let's go corner of the eye. Somewhere there. Again, reference. This goes up at that angle. So I'm going to go for there. Somewhere there. Maybe a bit more. Yeah. So it's starting to take shape just with this very simple lines. This is no shading, no anything. Now that is pretty much in line with its eye. So I'll stick a bit of curve in there. Carry it on. Carry it on. Yep. We've got this big thing here. What it's called. And then this loops on like that. But as you can see, I'm not doing any shading. I'm not doing any detail. I'm just doing literally shapes. Because all the last bit is how we build that. Now its neck, if we go in there, that seems to go like that. There, got a raised bit. his neck is curving, and then his neck literally something like that. I'm going to have to move this horse's head now because it's maybe in the way. But if you see, that sort of gives us a bit of a starting point of what we need to create this horse. Like I say, you don't have to follow what I'm doing. This is just for reference. But this is how I would go about constructing the shapes. Because once the shape's there, and then if you step away from it, it looks right, the shading part's the fun bit. The shading part's easy. Well, that's the bit that takes the practice. But, you know, this is massive muscles that horses have in their necks. Okay. It doesn't help because mine's on an angle here, so it's not easy to looking at it there. It needs to be more of an angle. And it goes up right up there with a lot of shading. Excuse me. So, okie doke. We're going to go up to the ear. So this bit here goes curve, out and in, up and around here. And I'm going to just pop the ear in here and hope that it's sort of in the right position. So obviously and it joins up that. And then we've got all its neck, which is pretty much, once we've got the hair on. And then you can see some pieces which are easy to reference because you can see that joins up with that. That's pretty much part of this one. That comes just above that. That goes there. That's probably too high and too big. Yeah. It's not bad, I don't think. And it's obviously got its hair coming in here. So basically in about 10 minutes there, we've drawn the very basics of this horse, which looked very daunting about 10 minutes ago. And we've drawn the sort of premise of the shapes of what it should look like. And we've ended up with this. And it has these big veiny bits here. Blah, blah, blah. That continues there. And then it goes under its nose. And I've got a big veiny bit there. Yeah, so bit by bit, build it up, get the shape. And then the fun bit now is starting to define what we've actually created and make it look more like a horse with the detail that you can add. And you'll find out now that some lines might not be right. Some lines might need to be taken back a bit. But it should give you a starting point. And you'll be able to start defining all these areas. I'm going to do this just softly with the soft pencil for now. And just start to, next stage is putting in the shade, the light and shade in the different areas. I know this might be a bit more advanced, but I think it's important that we learn how to build drawings, because people had somebody send me a message in the week saying they'd drawn a dog, which was amazing. I have one of the family dogs, just from the inspiration of being at the class. So if the class can inspire to do something else outside of the class and then enjoy drawing in your own time with the kids, etc., then my job is done. I've been doing it quite a while, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a really crazy highlight on that one. Looks to be very, very dark in there. Obviously very dark in there. If you can see now, we'll start to get a horse popping out. Okay. we go. Yeah. And again. And again. And all the shading is here at the front. This is, you know, this could be now a 4 or 5 hour shading project. But now you know it looks like a horse without any shading. Because this pretty much resembles a horse, and it's not a mile away from this one. This is the good bit. This is the bit now where you can spend a lot of time building up these contours and these shapes, and the shadows and his hair, etc. And just start to have fun with it now. So does that look like starting to get somewhere? I'll add a few more details in over here, doing his mouth. Obviously, he doesn't have a straight mouth, but it's quite dark. And he's got all this shading in here. So I'm going to add all that in quickly. See how quick I can do a shading job on a horse. So over the next coming weeks, next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be doing a bit more of different random animals or different parts of the human body. We won't take it too far. This is mainly showing you how to create the shapes. The lips is showing you how to do the shading. We can go back over other areas if people get in touch and want anything specific. But if we can all spend an hour together, keep spreading the word. It's nice to have a community of people now. I mean, 500 is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but fantastic. And it shows the power of social media. And something as simple as this that I just thought would help people and is quite therapeutic, then has turned into this thing. This and his nose is very defined and dark here. Okay, and obviously here. But I say a few weeks down the line, I might do some more advanced classes. We'll see what the response is to that if you do get in touch, and we'll see. But after the class, please share on social media. Let me see what you've done. Let people know you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, don't put it on social media. Just say it was amazing. But hopefully you've had a bit of fun. You've had a go at doing these things yourself. And obviously I've not got time to make this into an amazing horse, but as we said, the main premise was to get the shapes in. This is the part where you can start building up bit by bit and create the shading for each section. And that needs to be, let's just give others this bit away. And if you can have a look on my YouTube, follow my YouTube. There's a few bits and bobs on there, but I want to get a bigger audience on YouTube so we can hopefully just broadcast directly. But we need lots of subscribers to do that. So can do maybe look at that in the future. I'm just going to add them in for effect. Okay. It's quite a pretty horse, this one, to be honest, as horses go. And I did just say that out loud. So this is a real test. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jessie's look like and her family's. I had a few comments last week about we did a bald eagle last week, and we had a few demented pigeons. We had somebody who turned it into a dragon, which is cool. I love that. I love the fact that you start out as something and just turn it into something totally random. I love it. That's what it's about. So this is now starting to take shape, and the more work you put into it, the more this will pop off the page and amaze everybody. And I am just going to shade in now in a very, very quick, dramatic way where all shading would go, and let's just see what happens. I'm just going to define that a little bit more. Very easy going around the camera. So like I say, next week we will be doing more objects, more people, maybe another animal, maybe another section of an animal. Again, learning different techniques. This week we've been learning how to pull this all together, how to create a shape from this, and how to sketch it out and get an idea of something to scale. And hopefully it's something that you're getting some pleasure out of, and it is that bit of release that I think we all need right now, because it has become a bit tiring and it has become a bit Groundhog Day every day. People are going through tough times, so this is the escape for me, and thankfully lots of people have joined in that. So let's just chuck his hair in. Sorry, Mr. Horse, but you're just going to get some random hair now. Okay. So remember, everybody who's on the class tonight, if you do want to get some of my artwork that is on the website, you're welcome to go on, have a nosy, see what you think, pass on the thoughts. What have we got? Art class 10 is what you need to put at checkout, I believe, and you will get 10% discount. And that will be 10% off anything that you choose to get. The prints we did last week, which I'm going to do 15 prints every month, and the idea being that we will give a percentage to charity. This month we did it for Maggie's. I did 15 prints, and because a lot of my work has become very collectible, when I release something it tends to go very, very quickly. So they went in literally 24 hours, which was pretty amazing. It just gives us that opportunity to help other people and obviously keep us going through these tough times, but people get artwork at the same time. So I am literally not paying too much attention to what I'm doing now, except I am just trying to draw the shapes in just to give an idea of where all the shading would be. So with time, with lots of time, as you can see, we would start to build up all this. So anybody who wants to spend a bit more time after the class defining these objects and making this horse look amazing, feel free to do so. And we will have the class on the YouTube channel tomorrow, probably. And you can watch along. So if you've missed it and you've not brought a note, need a note. I think you need to bring a note. I think you should have notes. Okay, so yes, so there we are. We're not far from the end of the class now, 5 minutes or so. Give you an idea of this. Now this big veiny bit here. Okay. Like I say, it's a little bit more of an advanced drawing this week, but I think we're up for it. I think it's possible to do this. I think people can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. It's took a while. I've done lots of years of drawing things, making things look good and making things look bad. Eventually, you get more consistently good at things. I'm working on all sorts of crazy projects at the minute, which is amazing. Listen, try and have a look out for the podcast next week, though. That'll be really amazing. And there's a top secret bit of artwork that I've been working on for ages, which will finally be out next week, which is for, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but anyway, you'll know about it next week. But that's coming out. Brand new piece of artwork that I've worked on about 6 months ago, actually, is going to come to fruition next week, and you will hear about it, see it, and it will be in lots of places. So look out for that. And that's a big digital piece, which is going to be extremely collectible. So, okay, but as you can see, I am obviously rushing this now, but this is how we get and start to get this drawing together. You can spend loads of time with the hair. We might have one lesson just on drawing hair, because hair is obviously very, very difficult to do to make it look right, other than doing this sort of thing. You know, it is a case of, you know, it might be lots of pencils building strands up like this. That's how we do nice, consistent hair, but you have got to spend a lot of time looking at it and making it pop. So yes, that's pretty much how we're going to build it up in the next coming weeks. So I'm going to give a few more shout outs before the end. We're going to say thanks to Jess again, Pete and Michelle, who've helped bring this together. I Love Manchester, the Mank, Visit Manchester. We've had lots of shouts from them this week, which has taken our subscribers up to 500 plus. I hope that everybody's enjoying the classes. Please spread the word, share with as many people as you can. Tell everybody how amazing it is. If you don't like it, don't tell anybody. And over the coming weeks, we will do a lot more classes and a lot more interesting classes and different subjects, and we will advance them and take them to different areas. So, like I said, go on Instagram after the class if you can and will, or on Facebook, wherever your preferred platform is to share things. Tag me in. Let's get the conversation going, and let's have everybody talking about positive, nice things other than all the nasty things that are on the news that include Boris, etc. And that will be a good way to spread the word and basically put positive vibes out there, because I totally believe that if we all put positive vibes out there, then we'll feel a lot better and happy as a result. Because if somebody says your drawing's amazing and you think it's rubbish, that's really good. That's what I do. Anyway, I put it out there. If I'm having a bad day, get some cool drawings out there and see what everybody thinks. So this is where we are going to sort of draw it to a close with the very last simple things here, just to get these on the page. And again, like I say, a bit of artistic license going just to get it something there. So it is a very grainy, it's a very rough drawing. The main part of this was this, and making people see that this horse's head is not as daunting if you cut it down into shapes. You know, it's lots of simple shapes making this form, using all your reference points here and working on it bit by bit methodically. You could spend an hour getting it absolutely accurate, or maybe a few hours, whatever you like. But then once you know it looks like a horse or a shape of a horse, you then start to define the detail within. Then you're left with the blank. The simple thing then is spending not 20 minutes like I've just done here, is spending a lot of time now building the shading up if you want to bring this to life and make it look really accurate. If not, you can just get practice shading, practice sketching, doing drawings quicker, making shapes and things on the page, which I sometimes find I enjoy doing just as much, because then you're sort of working with freedom of, you know, building like this, and just the more marks you make, the more sort of freedom you get, and just start sculpting like that, start building up your ideas on a page, and just see what comes out. So we are coming to the end of the class. I'm going to draw me to finish the class. I don't know why. So that's me. I think it looks a bit like me. So we finish with a little doodle, being as there might still kids doing it. I might actually put a little bit of hair at the back there just to, you know, got to have a bit of optimism in these dark days. So thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been a bit harder this week, but we have got 500 plus subscribers now. So what I'm trying to do is appeal to all levels. You can do some of your doodles, some of the cartoons, some sketchy stuff, some more detailed shading. It's up to you where you take it. I just want to give you the basic tools of how to start and inspire you, basically. Put a piece of paper out. If you're having a bad day, get a piece of paper out, get a few pencils, get a pen, and make some marks on a piece of paper. Go and read a book. Go and do all these things that take you away from the stress of life right now. And come back to the drawing class next week. Subscribe. Go to my YouTube. Do all these cool things that support me and help me to push my name and my artwork out there so more people can see it. And in return, we get all this artwork out there that you've created. So I will see you all again next Thursday. I look forward to seeing you and more besides. And get in touch. You can message me on any of the social media platforms, just in Eagleton, and I will always respond in any way I can. Go and get your 10% off if you want. It's Art Class 10, and that's on my website and my shop. And thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you next week.